Round 3.
I was out of balance.
This movie sucked. You said let's get into round 3. You said you wanted to argue.
Okay, here we go. And I'm going to go with exactly what you're saying. Did this movie have anything new? No. Did this movie present anything different from a superhero point of view? No. Did this movie speak to me and my kids and anyone who are like me speak to? 100% yes. Multiple reasons. First off, I love the fact that they didn't translate every single thing that was said in Spanish.
Yeah.
And there were certain things that we were rolling on, or we were like, oh my God, that's hard.
I was wondering, because like they would say some stuff and I'm like, where's the words?
No, and I loved that was for us.
Yeah.
It really was. Or at least if you knew Spanish, that was for you.
Yeah.
The representation that was in this movie really was the strongest I've ever had in a superhero film that played to ours, right? Now, I'm not going to take it personal from you because I also know how you felt about the first Black Panther. So I know this is your normal...
I'm just watching the movie.
Yeah, you're just watching the movie and you're talking about your score pad.
One thing, because I totally forgot in our pre-show meeting to talk about this. Sure. Let's try to do the first part of this spoiler-free.
Okay. So, again, I'm not going to sit there and say this was the best superhero movie ever. It's not. Okay. This is an emotional response for me and my kids who went with me to see this because we understood everything that was going on, because we have come from that. So for us, it hit home. For us, we laughed. We were sad. Everything that you could think about. Again, nothing new was presented in this movie that hasn't been presented 100 times over and everything that's come before. I am not naive to that. And if I look at it strictly from that point of view, still liked it better than The Flash.
No,
right?
The Flash was way better than this movie. But and I don't even want to say that anything. I don't want to put the standard that something new has to be brought to the table for it to be a good movie. Like that's not
Correct.
that's not necessarily a true statement. The fact that I think my hot take for this movie, and I think DC in general, Detective Comics, is that you have blueprints out there. You do take from other entities, and you put all the stuff together, and it's just some nasty bad movies. It's just it's ABC. It's Boys to Men, ABC, and Belle Biv DeVoe. It's just another bad creation by
Isn't
Detective
that most
Comics.
of Marvel though being standardized as well?
No. That is one Marvel thing that is happening. What DC has done is I'm gonna take the Iron Man eyes in the suit. I'm gonna take this part here. I'm gonna take this piece from here. I'm gonna take all the good parts of this genre and maybe other action movies or sci-fi movie, whatever, right? I'm gonna take all the good parts of it and put it all in one, but for some reason they can never make it work. So it's like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
That's what I'm saying though. So give me something that you didn't agree with, or give me something that really bothered you when watching this.
Bothered me? I don't.
Or
we don't want to do spoilers. This first part.
No. Don't do. You can do it without spoilers. I believe in you.
This movie was closer to the Fantastic Four, Jessica Alba's Fantastic Four, than it was anything MCU related. And that was just a horrible movie. Those Fantastic Four movies were just bad.
And here I am starting to actually love on those Fantastic Four movies. I will say this. When they first came out, I thought it was garbage and I hated it.
Still garbage.
Caught it a couple of times and I was like, this is starting to grow on me.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what this was, this was just a fun time for me. Again, for us, this was a fun time watching this flick and just enjoying it. I do agree. There are cheesy ass parts in this movie. There is, hands down.
So what's a better synonym or a bigger word for parts? Segments,
scenes, certain scenes. But I didn't.
Acts. Yes, there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
I don't think so though.
Corny acts. If there's 3 acts, then all 3 were corny.
I don't, man. And maybe it is playing too much into what I felt hadn't been there before for us. Maybe that is very much a thing that's playing hard into this movie. But I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. I loved every minute of the movie. And I recognized when I was like, well, that's really cheesy, but cool anyway. Like that was how I represented my, again, to your point, when you're not hearing or you're not like, hey, is that what they said? And I'm going, nope, that's not what they said at all. Like, whether it was cuss words, whether it was moments that were left out where they're just talking in Spanish and you're hearing that, but everything for this being a first adventure movie, I can't stress enough, you're not coming into this movie to see something new. You're just not. It's a different take. I enjoyed it. I did. And I'm the first one to tell you, you can ask the other host of Vagabond Nerds. I was like, I'm not looking forward to this movie. This movie's going to be crap. No. I don't want to see it. I kept telling him. It wasn't until you said something that made me think, shit, I probably should go see it. And that was like, even if you hate it, you got to go see just for representation. I was like,
I move in the background.
I heard you. I listened to you.
I'm not on the front lines, but I move in the background.
And I even said that to one of my friends. I was like, no, damn it. Genesis made a comment the other day and he's not wrong. Cause I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going to see this the way it was intended, HBO Max. This is what this movie was made for. So all these people who are griping and bitching like, oh my God, this thing made horrible money. It made money that it wasn't supposed to make.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it only made 120 or 140 million. Doesn't matter. Wasn't supposed to be in the theaters.
Yeah.
So screw you. It made its thing. Yeah, I'm a little bit more passionate on this one than I think I have been in a while.
So
I don't know.
So as we move on, once we get into the spoiler section, I'll probably be able to answer your question a little bit better. What did you think, generally speaking, of the movie?
So, I liked. Well, okay. First of all, I was very out of it. I didn't even realize this was a DC movie. I thought this was some off-brand movie. Because when we were
it was
a Max movie.
When we were at the movies, I blinked and he was like, oh, and I was like, oh.
Every time they showed DC on the screen, I cheered.
No, he was like pointing, but I wasn't looking, so I legitimately did not know this is a DC movie. I thought this was some like other off-brand movie. Now
it is.
Okay, but I will say yes, it was cheesy, but I did like up until like the third act, as you say, this had third act problems.
Every
to me.
Single movie, I swear. Okay, I'll come back to it.
So, although yes, it was cheesy, I did like it, and I liked the whole cultural piece of this, even though I can't really identify. I really appreciated it, and I love George Lopez, and so I liked seeing him. And then there was one part when
no spoils.
Okay, I'll have to wait on that because I'll spoil it.
So yeah, George Lopez. Yeah, let's talk about George Lopez.
Wait, but let me finish. Let me just say this.
All right.
But in the end, overall, even though I liked it all the way up to the third act, I still when it was all said and done, I was just like, it was all right. You know what I mean? Like it was all right.
Yeah. The acting. I felt like George Lopez didn't fit, and he was in the movie way more than I expected him to be in the movie.
I agree with that.
Way more. And I just think he didn't fit. There were certain scenes where it was like, okay, he pulled that off. But generally speaking, I was like, he stands out like a sore thumb and this doesn't, it's not meshing.
Here's the problem with that comment though. And I'm going to say this because this is where this comes into the culture aspect. Every single one of us has an uncle just like that. In fact, I have an uncle called Uncle Rudy.
So I'm not talking about his character. I'm talking about him and his acting.
No, but I'm telling you.
So I'm not talking about his character. I'm not talking about who he played and what he said specifically. I'm just saying he was for his level of acting. I don't think he's like a great actor. He had way too many lines to just be. I don't know what you want to call his acting, because you got late night host, you got comedian, stand up comedian, right, and then you got actor. And out of the three, the weakest one is his acting, and it just he had way too many lines to be that level of actor. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so go into spoilers.
He's ready.
I'm ready.
He's like, go.
I need to mark this down. 50. Okay.
All right.
I don't have no paper or nothing.
50?
50.
50. There we go.
Okay.